Welcome to Northsit TV. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get notifications for more videos.
The theme for his administration is our ease, which is translated in Yoruba, Odi Rorun. Do you think his activities have started aligning with that theme?
For now, I cannot say that, we are feeling the ease in quotes now.
Tell me, how has it been under the administration of Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa?
Do not rate any government based on what political appointees are saying. Go to the street and ask them, are they faring well and better?
Do you think there is something that can be done to pivot and bring about this change that the masses at the grassroots need?
The society itself cannot do more than what we are doing.
Hi, I'm Carrie from Baltimore, Maryland, USA. I came all the way to Nigeria to Northsit Studios to remind everybody to keep watching Northsit TV on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Kindly subscribe and follow.
You're welcome to yet another edition of Ondo Hot State, where we discuss about the governance in Ondo State and how the policies affect us as citizens of Ondo State. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this, that Northsit TV is not responsible for the opinion of our guests. We ask questions and want them to clarify things based on their own opinion and impression. In the studio today, I'm being joined by a legal luminary. Ladies and gentlemen, I have with me Barrister Barr Kosoko. Good to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
How has it been?
Thank you for having me. We are fine.
Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about, you are a citizen of Ondo State, and tell me, how has it been under the administration of Dr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa?
You have asked a very a question that is laced with too many angles to cover, because it will be too narrow. We narrow it to have said that how do I consider the government of Aiyedatiwa? For me to say that, to rate a government, it may need to touch so many angles before I can say, okay, this government has fared well on this particular area, this government has done well in this particular area, then this government has not done well here. So that is my own way of rating any administration. You know, we have something that has to do with security. We have the area of government that has to do with provision of amenities. We have area of government that has to do with infrastructure, road network, health, education, security, and too many areas.
So I understand where you're coming from, but that's why I said, from your own opinion. You know, so for instance, during the administration of Dr. Olusegun Mimiko focused more on, his campaign was around health, the child, the health generally. He talked about health. He touched education. He was more focused about children and the mothers. This administration, I think Akeredolu's administration focused more on the legal side of the government, you know, and security. You pick one that you think, this is where I think this administration of Aiyedatiwa is faring. This is where I think they are not faring. Let's just have your general opinion.
Looking at this government, the government came on board sometime December 2023, particularly shortly after the demise of our former governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, a saint of blessed memory. That government was terminated by his passage onto eternal realm. But then, after that, the constitution provides that the deputy governor take over the saddle of leadership. Yes. And when he came on board, for me, I want to bridge that time alongside with the current tenure. So I wouldn't want to sever it, since it is the same person who inherited that government, completed it, then started with another government. Now, on a fresh tenure. For me, I want to believe that it is difficult for anybody to say that government or any government will have no impact at all. It will be difficult for me to say that a government will not have impact at all. But that impact, whether it is much more to be felt or much more, it has been much more felt on the generality of the people or the public, it is that I think
another discussion.
we want to say. But now, for me, I believe Aida Tiwa is just trying, for me, from my own perspective, just trying to organize his government in a way to go. Because, for example, now, if we are to look at it from his predecessor that concentrated so much on security, I think his duty is to continue to further deepening the security architecture of the state by way of enhancing the day-to-day activities of Amotekun, and I don't think he has really departed from that line. But then there is more to do in terms of security. Particularly, there are pockets of insecurity generally now in Ondo State, particularly the northern side of Ondo State, the northern part of Ondo State. If you are going through from Benin or Ose local government area of the state and the Akoko northeast and northwest of the state, where we have Akuno, all that area, there are pockets of insecurity, kidnapping that is becoming too rife. In short, there was a time they kidnapped a particular person who was a staff of Adekunle Ajasin University in his home. So for that, I don't think he needs to up his game in that area. Now, for a government, what I want before I will rate him, before a government will be rated, I want to suggest this to Mr. Governor that let us know the area. The state must know the area. I know that there's no department or any area of or sector that should be left abandoned by the governor, because that is why the responsibility of the governor is so huge. It's huge. For example, we have the education sector, we have the health sector, we have the technology, we have works that covers infrastructure, that covers road and all of that. So agriculture is also there, and because so these sectors that even water, even to the extent of water, they are there. So these are very, very important sectors that I think the government must concentrate its efforts upon. Now, for example, as a citizen of Ondo State, I will want to also say that in terms of recruitment of teachers, he has done creditably, at least for me, fair in that area. I learned that he recruited over 2,000 teachers. So
which is a plus.
It is a good one. At least the teachers. That is not even my area of considering what he has done. I'm looking at the people, the masses, the core people, the core fabric of our society that occupies a very larger chunk, a very larger degree of our population, the masses, who cannot afford education that is costly for their children. So it is better, it is good that he has done that, so that the classes will not be empty, having children without having teachers to teach them. So I think it's a good one, because the reason why it is a good one is that education is supposed to become the right of everybody. All children, all kids should be able to have at least basic education. So I think it's a good one for him, having them. But it may not be enough, because if you consider the number of teachers that are retiring on yearly basis, we will need to do more.
When we look at the education, do you think, in your opinion, because I know that the theme for his administration is our ease, which is translated in Yoruba, Odi Rorun. Do you think his activities have started aligning with that theme?
You know, politicians will definitely want to have a cliche or an acronym for themselves, you know. But in reality, before you see anyone on the social media, they will post our is, our that, our audio. I am not saying that there is something wrong about that. It has to do, that may likely in due course translate to what we can see and feel. But for now, I cannot say that, oh, we are feeling the ease in quotes now. I said the ease in quotes is that when you look at it critically, there are things that brings ease to our lives.
People, yeah.
Number one is shelter. Number two, food. Now, if these two things are not in place, and our health, if they are not in place, then our ease may carry a big question mark on its head.
It will be truncated.
Yes. So that is why we need this ease to come so practical to us.
But
I'm going somewhere now. Now, I have mentioned three key areas now. I said agriculture, shelter, and
health.
health. Now, what is the government of Ondo State doing to bring down prices of food? To bring price of food down to the doorstep of the common man in the society, that means there must be revolution in the agricultural sector. Revolution in the agricultural sector to mean that in every community, the 18 local government we have in Ondo State, there must be program in those local government that will give room for mass production of food. Because we have the land here. Our land is a land that can grow anything. It's fertile. It's a God blessed us so much with good land. So the government should take that opportunity and invest in our agricultural sector. Now, too, is the issue of it. Even if you want to condemn Mimiko, you will not condemn mother and child. If you want to condemn Mimiko, you will not condemn mega school. If you want to condemn Mimiko, you will not condemn a neighborhood market. You get what I'm saying? Because once there is production, there must be room where those things can also be taken care of, so that we also encourage the farmers. Now, the mother and child agenda of Dr. Mimiko should be reinvigorated, should be reinvented again, should be boosted, should be at least given a second thought that, oh, if this thing is good for us, we are at that particular time, the child mortality rate in Ondo State reduced.
Even
some surrounding, they were coming around.
People came.
Yes. So at least, even if you don't love Mimiko, you will love that because you will have children. You cannot take away the fact that you enjoyed the mother and child program, and I think it's a good one. Now, the essence of saying all of this is because all of us are stakeholders in this state. And it is our common patrimony that the government or the governor is managing. And that is why we are suggesting that if there are areas he needs to cover, we should be able to point it out to him.
That is good. Thank you very much, because you have been able to touch down on some things that I feel that the government needs to work on. Yes, we hear on news that the government is working, but I think the people need to generally feel the impacts directly, like you have said, of the governance on the people directly. Now let's deviate a little, still part of the government. Let me ask this. Would you attribute the unease that people have, especially in the area of economy, to the state government or the federal government?
We cannot easily separate the two of them. We cannot easily.
Is it because they are from the same political party?
No. The reason why I'm saying it is that the federal government has a duty to play on the constituent, that is the constituent state.
Yes.
For example, if there are funds available at the federal government, the Constitution provides that that money should be distributed amongst the the 3 tiers of government. For example, the federal, the state, and the local government.
We are coming there.
Now, the reason why I said we cannot divorce the federal government from the federal government's influence on the state is that, number one, security generally, the army, the navy, the security generally is under the watch of Mr. President of the federal government. For example, the police is being controlled by the federal government. The Nigerian army is controlled by the federal government. The Nigerian navy is controlled by the federal government, because these are under the exclusive power of the federal government. The Nigeria Air Force, they are under the federal government. Now, all of them. Now, for example, if you want to ensure that there is security in any state, the federal government has a role to also play. Now, the chief executive, they said the chief security officer, that is the governor, is the chief security officer. But if you look at it practically, it will be difficult for you to now say that, does the governor really, is the governor really the chief security officer? If he cannot control the police, if he cannot control the navy, if he cannot control the DSS, if he cannot control the Nigerian army, then you will discover that it is just by way of paying lip service. It's a cliche. Someone is just trying to put a kind of garment, put on a garment that does not even fit him. Okay, for example, I put on the garment of a king, and I'm not a king. Well, so that you does that not really address me as does the royalty that comes along with king embedded in me? Now, that is where the powers of the federal government lies. Now, where the government of the state, that is the governor now, headed by the governor, can now be questioned and queried, is that these funds, there are some funds that are released to you. These funds too, you can also use it to enhance security by way of bringing your intellect into play. Okay, for example, now, you are from that state. You know the state more than any other person. You know the communities more than the federal government. The president is in Abuja. The governor is from Ondo State. He is from one local government, one village, one hut. You understand what I'm saying? So, one family. So, he must understand his own terrain. And he must understand his own people that is governing as a result of the fact that he's a citizen of that state. So, he also has a role to complement the effort of the federal government. So, where he fails to do that, where he fails to identify that these are the critical stakeholders in each community to play that significant role, it means it has failed. So, that is why the governor and the federal government, they have to complement each other to ensure that we have a stable, crisis-free, less security challenged society. So that is why there is no how you will not still give it back to the governor and give it back to the president. That is just the idea.
You mentioned that there are 3 tiers of government, and earlier we have had, especially one of the major victory or major accomplishment of the Tinubu administration is the autonomy of the local government. Would you say, as a lawyer, the local government is autonomous now?
Even if I don't like the style of governance of Mr. President, particularly on his unguided removal of subsidies.
Unguided?
Yes. I will give it to him for taking up the bull by the horn on resolving the impasse around local government autonomy. This autonomy is not just local government autonomy. It is fiscal autonomy. In other words, it is money. It is money that we are talking about. So, in other words, it is not about saying that, you have autonomy or no autonomy. But on July 11th, 2024, the Supreme Court gave a landmark judgment. Before that judgment was given, some governors challenged that suit at the Supreme Court, claiming that it does not have locus, this does not do that, the federal government does not have the power to now look into the affairs of the state, having been under the control of the state. There are so many arguments back and forth, but the Supreme Court was bold enough, because the Supreme Court is also a policy-making court. It made that judgment, and it was a landmark one. But the question around that local government autonomy to date has become a problem because looking at it critically, you will discover that most of the governors they do not want that local government to function to its full capacity. Now, there is no how that we will talk about the debacle around functionality of local government without attacking the personality of each governor. I will talk about it now. Now, if the federal government cannot control your allocation, I'm looking at it objectively. If the federal government cannot control your allocation, the way you spend your allocation, and looking at section 162, particularly section 3 of that constitution, makes it very express that there shall be a distribution of this money amongst the 3 tiers of government. That is the federal, the state, and the local government.
Which implies that there are 3 different personalities.
There are 3 different personalities. For example, you now as you are, if you have a company, your company is a different personality. You are a different personality.
Yeah.
So you don't subdue it under the powerful influence of the big 36 people in Nigeria. Now, what I'm saying here, sir, is a serious matter. The reason why I said it's a serious matter is that if the local government functions well, there will be more development in our local government, where all of us hail from. Now, most of the people you see around, they find it difficult to even go to their local government because they lack every basic things that are in the city. Now, for example, if the local government is functioning very well, there's no how you will go back home and you will not want to invest there.
That's right.
Because it will enhance productivity, it will enhance the social. There will be a social re-engineering at the local government level. What do I mean by social re-engineering? Our economy will experience a new boost. A new boost. People that ran from their village to Lagos, they may find reasons to come back home. They are suffering in Lagos, oh. They are suffering in Lagos, oh. But because of the fact that, let me still be managing this my suffering instead of me going back to so to another thing there. So that is the more reason why I said I give it to the president. And now the challenge I'm having is that Mr. President is becoming less proactive to see this thing work. Having insisted that this is how he wants Nigeria society to be, because of maybe what I don't know, maybe because of his fears, maybe because of some certain things that I don't know,
Maybe for
for political reasons. Maybe he's thinking that, if he does this, the governors may likely work against him. But the answer is no. Let me tell you, for everyone to be on the good side of posterity, you just have to be frank and bold about it. And once you do that, in the years to come, people will begin to see when they begin to see the results, then that posterity that we are talking about will now be on your side.
I love your closing remark on that, especially. But there are certain people who have said that there should be certain ratification from the state houses of assembly.
When the Supreme Court has given a judgment,
so which has not been done, that is why they are not totally autonomous. And that's why, for me, I want to agree with you that the president had decided to lay back on it, not pushing it to ensure that it is seen through. Because when we look at the kind of things the allocation that's supposed to get to the local government, and they are not getting there, people begin to ask questions. And that is why we need these things to be clarified. In your own opinion, do you think there is something that can be done to pivot and bring about this change that the masses at the grassroots need?
like you said, there are too many things for us to do. But first, in any society, it is the leader that sets the pace. The followers has no power. The followers, they don't have power of theirs. They don't have power of their own. Okay, for example, now let me give you a spectacle. Let me give you an instance. In any family, or in any group, or in any organization, you will agree with me that it is the leader of that organization that will set a standard, the tone, and everybody will follow. The society itself cannot do more than what we are doing. What we are doing here, what we are saying here, saying it the way it ought to be, is by contributing a quota, by adverting their minds to the right thing to do. Now, for example, I have said that the president has a duty to play. For example, if you get a judgment from the court, and that is where I was a bit likely wanted to interject when you were saying it. Once the Supreme Court gives a judgment, there are two types of judgments in our law. We have judgments that are executory, and there are some judgments that are declaratory. If a judgment is executory, is capable of enforcement, you enforce it. Then if a government is to declare something, once it declares it, it becomes law. Now the Supreme Court does not require, the judgment of the Supreme Court does not require 2/3 of the State House of Assembly for ratification. Okay. That one is subjected to bills. If there are bills at the National Assembly, and that bill is constitutional in nature, it means that before it will come to the Constitution, the 2/3 Assembly must ratify it. Must agree. But in this instance, the Constitution of the Constitution of Federal Republic has already provided for how this money should be distributed. Particularly Section 162(1). It talks about pooling resources together, except for personal income tax. That is Section 1. Then it talks about sharing of the money. Where the governors were hiding before that the Supreme Court has cured is Section 6, sub 6 of that section. Section 162 sub 6 that talks about joint allocation at the state level. But now, whether you are talking about joint allocation or not, the Supreme Court has resolved it. And that, please go and take your money. Do you know, as a matter of fact, that governors have stopped all the local government from submitting their account to the federation account, to RIFAC, revenue mobilization, allocation, they stopped them. Now, let me tell you, sir, if local government, and most of the local government officials, they cannot talk. Do you know the reason why they can't talk? It's because most of these people were handpicked. They were handpicked in one sitting room. You'll be the chairman of Akoko Northwest. You'll be the chairman of Ilaje local government. You'll be the chairman of Esodo local government. You'll be the chairman of Owo local government. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, these people were not loved by their people. These people were not sellable. There's no any electoral college that subjected them to thorough scrutiny, wherein their manifestos were expressed and displayed to the people, so that it will not bring them to questioning if they fail or they derail from executing what they have promised their people. You get what I'm saying now? Now, the last election that was conducted in Ondo State, I will say it now, because I'm a stakeholder too. I'm a citizen of this state. I'm a legal practitioner, and I don't think I'm owing anybody. I will say it here. Now, the last election, in short, there are local governments, in short, almost all the local governments, wherein election papers, the ballot boxes, were not taken even to the units where election votes were casted. Those results didn't get to the people. People were waiting that, let this thing come. Let's see, so that whether we can still vote or not. Despite the fact that the major opposition in no state withdrawn. They were still so much afraid of taking it to the public to be voted for. Do you get that scenario?
It was declared 18-0.
That one is the governorship election.
Okay, that's
Even if you talk about that governorship election, I will leave that one for the media boys that are eating on that are feasting on that, because that is their brand. Some of them branded their cap as 18-0, as if there are so many things that people are seeing. Let me tell you, sir, for you to qualify whether a government has done well or not, it is not the government that will be saying it. It is the people. I've said it repeatedly that do not rate any government based on what political appointees are saying. Go to the street and ask them, are they faring well and better? They are to be the one that will score you high. Are we not scoring Mimiko on health? Have we not scored Agagu well on education and infrastructure in terms of road? You get what I'm saying now? Yeah. In my area where I came from, Agagu was the first governor in the history of Ondo State that took bridge to those remote areas where people never saw car from the river end. So these are things that we endure in perpetuity in the memory of people. Do you get what I'm saying? So when people are talking, allow them to talk, particularly if they are still feasting on the government. After they leave government, they will condemn the government. And that is why government must be very, very serious. It's a serious business, my brother. If the entire money of a state is committed into your hand, it means that you are subject to scrutiny. You cannot sit on the common patrimony of all of us and you will be thinking that everybody will be clapping for you. People will not clap for you because it is not your money. You get what I'm saying? It is not your money. If it's your money, it is then you can say, oh, out of my money, I've given them. And then people will see you as a very good man, a philanthropist at best. But then, if you are in government and people are not feeling it, my brother, they will not be happy at the end of the day. But now, before I will now rate this government, I have seen that people have been saying so many things on social media. We have road projects ongoing here. We have one flyover at Oyerugbulem. We have this and we have your ongoing project at Ijoka. We have the one that has just been completed and commissioned at that road. That is not what I'm saying. Okay, Alabojuto, we all know this one, that it was leveled by Aketi. During the reign of Aketi, okay, Alabojuto, when I was in the university, it was a very high hill now. They brought it down. Today we have a road. And these are the things you can see. Even if you are dumb, at least your eyes, if it's working, you will see it. So if government is doing anything, this is my advice. If you award a contract after the passage by the State House of Assembly, please let us know the contractors.
So that people can.
So that we will know who we ask questions from. You get what I'm saying? It is not that someone will just be grading road and we don't know those that are doing it. You get it now? So the reason why we are saying this is because we know that a time will come that every individual who sits on that seat will leave. Yeah. It is not a permanent office. Even permanent secretaries are not permanent. Yes. It's not a permanent seat. A day will come, even our children yet unborn can still become governor of Ondo State. Yes. But the truth about it is that what will people say about you? So that is why I want to also say this to Mr. Governor. We are not saying that you have not been doing anything. At least on a daily basis, you want to have a program for that day. But let the people of this state feel it. Let the people of this state see it. I read that he's about to do some neighborhood market, according to him. They said they want to engage in agricultural. But bring them so that this thing will not become rhetorics. We want to see them and we want to feel them. Then if we feed them in return and we give you back the result, we tell you that you have done well here. But when you have not done well, we will tell you that you have not done well because we are not hallelujah boys. We are not hallelujah boys that will be clapping for everybody now. No, that is the bitter truth about life. The reason is this, sir. If a man does not care about security, whenever they kidnap his family, he will know that there is insecurity. If a man does not care about health, and one of his siblings or one of his family, I think you want to. So if one of his family is taken to the hospital and no one attends to that family, that is family. It is then we understand what it means not to have those things.
Thank you very much, Barrister Abel Kosoko. I've been talking with Barrister Abel Kosoko. We're talking about Ondo State and everything. It is our duty as citizens of Ondo State to ensure that we speak out and let the government know the areas that we need them. It is also the responsibility of the government to ensure that the citizens of the Ondo State are well catered for. Before I let you go, any final words?
Yes, I want to say this before I leave. The Ministry of Water Resources, electrification, rail, these were the excuses of governors in the past. But these items that I mentioned, they have been taken away from the exclusive list. Now, water wasn't there before. Electricity was under the exclusive list before. What electricity, right? Yeah. And rail, they were under the exclusive list before. But today, we have it under the concurrent list. I want Mr. Governor to look into rural electrification projects. When we're very younger, government of Ondo State used to plant electrification projects in villages.
That they will turn on the light and they will say they have given them light.
Parting word, though. They should continue to do that now in our villages so that people will have reasons to stay in their village and do well. It is not compulsory that everybody must come to Akure. Then on rail, we should be able to have rail system
Especially
for our
to
people
aid agriculture.
to aid agriculture. So these are a few things I want to say for now.
All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Barrister. We could continue.
Thank you, sir.
We could continue on and on and
Thank
on.
you, sir.
Barrister has a lot to say, but
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure that if we invite you next time, you will definitely.
I will definitely
do
make myself
justice.
available, sir.
Thank you very much. Please, we encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on all social media. It's Nofsid TV across all platforms. Turn on the notification bell to know whenever we bring up another video. Till I come your way again next time, my name remains Ayokunle Ajishafe. God bless you. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to thumbs it up and subscribe for more videos.